second podcast in 1 week? You gotta be kidding me. No way, guys. This is a very special bonus episode that myself, Eddie, and Kathryn did on the way to Survivor Series. So, sit back, relax, enjoy it. There's a couple little audio problems in there, but mostly it's pretty fun to listen to. So without further ado, sit back and enjoy.
I think this is fake.
You can't say that. I can say that.
Wrestling's not fake!
It's still real to me, damn it!
The unscripted, uncensored, loose cannon of commentary. This ain't WCW. This ain't Monday Night Raw. This ain't SmackDown. This ain't even WWE.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
You're listening to Marks on Commentary.
We are live. We are Marks in transit. Currently, we are we're getting on the highway. There's the Hooters sign. I haven't had Hooters in a while. There's Kowloon. I wonder if there's any Make-A-Wish kids waiting outside currently with their douchebag Camaro driving brothers. Shut up, car.
Don't tell my car to shut up.
Kathryn's car is speaking to us.
Why don't you intro people, let them know where we are?
Oh, well, you're drunk, sir. You're drunk.
I am drunk.
Jason is drunk.
We are currently
Go 7/10 of a mile and bear left on US 1 southbound.
going 7/10 of a mile, and then we're going to bear left. We're going to bear left after the 7/10 of a mile. We are on our way to the TD Garden to see Survivor Series 2013. Thoughts?
I'm driving.
I'm extremely disappointed by this car.
Jason seems to have issue with my car. He thinks it's too small. Well, he can bite me.
Well, Kathryn's a giant. Now, if anyone watches The Simpsons and remembers the episode where, I'm spacing, when Nelson was making fun of the tall man in the small beetle, that's almost, what the hell are you? I'm trying to figure out how we're going to sneak Jason into the TD Garden while drunk.
It's not horrible. Just buzzed.
Jason is white girl trashed. It's essentially what happened. He was drinking wine when we walked in.
He can only be trashier if it had been wine coolers instead of wine.
I did slip in
and then turn right
beer
to Rutherford
nip,
Avenue.
so,
A root beer nip?
yes. Not a nipple, but a small pint of, not pint, but...
Now, I'm curious. He's still talking. Are any of your transvestite friends going to be in attendance tonight?
We can only hope.
They're at Kowloon waiting for Jason. They have a table for us, reserved for one Jason Smith.
So we'll see Matt Del Greco, or whatever his fucking name.
I want you to stop having feuds with people we went to high school with. Or people that we may potentially bump into who smell really bad at these. The thing with the TD Garden is it's a little more spacious than the Agganis Arena, but not quite. Kathryn is cradling her Wade Barrett action figure.
In the way of... Okay, so I have my patron saints of car trips, which are, of course, Wade Barrett and Christian action figures. But the problem is that they sit in front of the view screen to my car, so I couldn't see where it was telling me to go. So I didn't have anywhere to put them because Eddie's in my passenger seat. So they're in my hand. Apparently I'm cradling them, but I'm just holding them by the feet. Unless you want to hold them, Eddie.
I'm going to hold Kathryn's action figures. That's a thing right now. 26 years old, I'm in a car, traveling to the TD Garden, cradling action figures.
Sounds like I have stuffed animals.
You have a stuffed Wade Barrett in your trunk, don't you?
No,
You literally have Wade Barrett stuffed in your trunk, don't you?
I wish, but I don't.
Alright, well, Jason's buzzed, and I've never been to an official wrestling event with Kathryn, so I don't know how long we'll be there without a restraining order. A real wrestling event.
Apparently he doesn't think indie wrestling is real wrestling, and that's why he's a douche and I have friends.
I concur.
If you experience the conditions in which I podcast under, you would understand why I am the way I am. Oh, there's a Revere Cinema. Has anyone seen Catching Fire?
No.
It's not on my list yet.
It's not on your list yet. What's on your list?
I haven't seen any of them.
What is so pressing that these things are above Catching Fire?
What's the movie Las Vegas? That's up there.
Really? You want to see four old guys go to Las Vegas?
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
All right, what's playing? We got Delivery Man, Las Vegas, Bad Grandpa, About Time, Captain Phillips, and You're Driving Too Fast. Hold on, I'm not done. Ender's Game. Clay Meatball. That's Cloudy Meatballs 2. Thor.
think we're gonna run into a toll here.
Well, that's why she has an easy pass. That,
Oh, thank you.
well, the offer is very generous, sir, but I'm gonna leave that to your fiance.
Thank you, sir. She appreciates it.
As you know, Jason's fiance is a big fan of our podcast, of our podcast. Did I say a podcast? She's a big fan of our podcast.
Podcasts in general.
She just loves the pod. She
Not the cast, just the pod.
just the pod. She's indifferent to the cast, but she's decidedly more favorable of the pod. All right, we got a 3 Olives vodka billboard. We're not actually discussing wrestling. We tricked you. If we post this, it's just going to be about billboards. And
We'll make sure that's clear in the introduction.
This is a bonus pod. We already did a show this week. Stop bitching if
you make it seem like we're like union workers. How dare you? We already did one podcast. F you, the people. To our meager audience of 70-something listeners.
Excuse me. We have several hundred when we have guests on. Just saying.
Or is it when Eddie's not on that we have 700?
They do coincide.
Eddie equals terrible ratings. It's true. But I had a Twitter fan explain that this is not the case. Maybe he's one of the 74, in which case I retract my earlier statement. Good on you, sir. One of the 74. Here's the thing. Jason and Kathryn hate our listeners. They absolutely hate them.
That's not true at all.
I can't tell you the number of times when I go on my laptop and sign on Skype and I'm like, you guys ready to do a fucking podcast and what? Fuck the people, Eddie. We hate the people.
That's not what happens at all. You're such a liar.
We have to like grab and duct tape Eddie to like do a show.
Yeah. I'm surprised like we don't just show up on Thursday nights and duct tape him in place so that we can guarantee he's there. Nina might like the after effects of that.
We have already gone over the rope versus handcuff versus duct tape. I'm not getting into this with you. It was decidedly in my favor. However, Jason and Kathryn hate you, the people.
That's not true.
I've given you DVDs from my closet.
On DVD, you've offered up deodorant and socks.
Deodorant and socks. Do you realize how cold out it is right now? There are some people, namely wrestling fans, who cannot afford these necessities because they're too busy paying $60 for a pay-per-view.
It's very true. We only paid $40 and we're going to be there, so we got the better deal.
Now, what are you looking forward to most tonight, Eddie?
The fact that Kmart and Mattel have sponsored this amazing event at the TD Garden at I can't read our tickets that Kathryn printed off at 7:30.
Sounds legit.
They're real tickets. I purchased them with real money.
Now you can print out your tickets from your own computer.
I'm looking forward to Mattel. What about you two?
I'm looking forward to being at my first pay-per-view live.
This is a cherry. We're popping her cherry tonight.
That's just creepy. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
I didn't bring the sweaty, oily towels with me.
What do we do? Just be gentle.
Will Sherman be in the audience tonight?
I
She's not going to answer this question. She has literally clammed up. When people use the expression clam up, Kathryn has in fact done just that. She has clammed up and her driving reflects this because I'm dropping everything.
just because you're dropping things doesn't mean I'm driving badly. It just means you're terrible at holding on to things.
We're currently traveling to Boston via tractor.
It's not a tractor, it's a roller skate.
By
I have a very tiny Fiesta. It's very bright blue. If it looks like a tractor, you're on something.
By the time we get to the TD Garden, it will already be time for the next time Survivor Series is at the TD Garden.
Hey!
Approximately 5 years from now. Jason, any thoughts on tonight?
I was at the last Survivor Series and was greatly disappointed at the last Survivor Series here in Boston. Tonight, comes out better. But
Jason is here to settle a vendetta with Survivor Series from 2009. 2008.
I still maintain, even with a buzz, my great knowledge of professional wrestling.
Except he gets a little more douchey about it.
Not arrogant.
2008, Eddie. Jeez, my God.
No, because I know that some douchebags will tell me on Twitter.
Twitter, this is the reason why Jason hates you, the people. You're being very mean to him. It upsets him. It hurts his feelings.
Jason is so afraid of our fans. He has to get drunk before he goes to a wrestling show.
You weren't at Bound for Glory, Kathryn. We saw things.
You weren't at Bound for Glory either.
You weren't at Slammiversary. We saw things.
Well then, we're good.
1
Easy
mile
Pass
and
got
turn
twisted.
right
We're
drive
good.
to Somerville, and then turn right to Rutherford Avenue.
We're good.
We're currently attempting to steal our way into Boston.
Siri is yelling at us at the moment.
Siri? I don't have Siri.
Sounds like your car is.
It's my Fiesta.
Fiesta is trying to yell
Yo
at us
soy
right
Fiesta.
now. You call your in-car brain navigation system.
Sync.
Sync.
I see the TD Garden.
Yeah, it's gonna take us a while to get there. Just because you could see it doesn't mean we're almost there.
This is true.
Jason confirms that it is in fact not true, that while I can see the TD Garden, it may still take us at least 5 years to get there on Kathryn's tractor.
I propose
Hey.
a name change to STD Garden.
Hey, that's not nice. It worked very hard to make a nice garden.
This is going as well as one of our normal podcasts. I'm very,
So that Eddie's doing like the awkward news anchor, like pass the microphone around and hope that it's pointing in the right direction, and
Somebody says something poignant.
you just jabbed me in the face with it. Jerk.
that's what
Turn right
newscasters
to
do.
Somerville, and then turn right to Rutherford Avenue.
We're going to be turning right on Rutherford Avenue. Rutherford Avenue.
I won't sing Electric Avenue this time.
We're taking a right on Electric Avenue. We're going to pick up Jesse's girl.
Nice. I love Booty's music. Okay.
Why are we not listening to any?
Because I turned it off so that we could
Turn right to
podcast.
Rutherford
We
Avenue.
were listening to the animals, just saying.
Now, how intimidated are you to drive on these roads coming from the New Hampshire area of dirt roads and cows?
There are no dirt roads and cows near my house.
Jason, this is a serious question. This is not a joke. He put on his serious newscaster voice.
I believe Brian Fury has already addressed this issue, and therefore I defer to the previous podcast where Brian Fury said that if you aren't down with New Hampshire, then you can go fuck yourselves. I'm paraphrasing.
That's not the DX quote. Like, anywhere close to it.
I'm sorry, was I
Even
quoting
in the
DX?
PG I didn't sound like
Well, yeah.
Is Brian Fury part of DX now? Because I'm pretty sure I was paraphrasing Brian Fury.
Did we in fact have a pro New Hampshire on our show?
Yes, we did.
And you're wondering why I've been missing in action.
Down Street.
I'm starting a campaign against New Hampshire.
Does that sign say Papagayo?
Papagayo.
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 Sorry, the sign says Papagayo.
It says Papagayo if you speak Spanish, and it's a really good place for Mexican food and tequila.
Papagayo, ladies and gentlemen. The proud sponsor, along with Mattel and Marshalls, Kmart, of Mark's...
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell.
I don't know Rosie O'Donnell. Sure, she's a very lovely woman.
Old McDonald's, like, close relative.
Rosie O'Donnell, the proud sponsor of Mark's in Transit.
12 minutes in, just to let you
Hi, I'm Eddie Brophy from Mark's on Territory. We're currently sitting at the intersection on Causeway Street where we are going to attempt to find frugal, cheap parking. How successful are we going to be at this?
I know where we're going, and it's not exactly cheap, but it's not the most expensive place. It's not as expensive as North Station.
Do we want to talk about how we couldn't take the train in because Kathryn was scared of, like...
I didn't say I was scared. I just don't like
Racial
public
people on
transportation
the
because it makes
transit?
me nervous. Because I'm from New Hampshire and we don't have public transportation there. Unless you want to, like, ride the public transportation cow.
Now, I want to explore this innate fear of public transportation. Now, I'm gonna actually grab your Christian doll, and I want you to show me on the Christian doll, where did public transportation touch you?
Dear.
Right in the cod piece, ladies and gentlemen. She was touched right on Christian's cod piece.
If you saw what New Jack did to mass transit, you would be scared too. Does anybody get that reference?
No.
Fuck.
Once again,
I
nobody
need
gets
to,
your
like,
references.
teach you, like, shit.
I need to, teach you stuff. All of the stuff.
2/10 of a mile and turn right to Bouchard
mass
Street.
transit. Beat the shit out of him. Cut his head open. The kid died like 7 years later of, like, I don't know, being fat.
Being fat kills you?
Completely unrelated.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason hates anyone who suffers from obesity. If you're fat, there's a good chance Jason discriminates on you. Jason doesn't like the children, he doesn't like the elderly, and he most certainly doesn't like people of great girth. If you have girth, Jason is not about that life. Just saying. Kathryn, on the other hand, if you're south of New Hampshire, she thinks you're a Yankee. She hates your sports teams. She thinks that the Patriots are for pussies.
Oh, I'm supposed to be turning right here.
Turn right to New Chardon
Sorry, guys,
Street.
behind me.
You're in Boston. This is typically how Bostonians drive.
I am officially a masshole. I was born in Massachusetts. I don't know why I don't drive like a masshole.
I feel as though it's kind of like if you're from Canada and you live in the States.
Go 2/10
If
of a mile and
you
turn
live in New
left
Hampshire, I think you should have to have dual citizenship. You need your own card. I want to keep you as far north as humanly possible. You with your radical ideologies on cow tipping and driving, apparently, because Kathryn let go of her wheel and we almost died.
I did not. Just making sure I had the right entrance to the garage, which I do.
And I'm currently wondering what people are going to think when they see a 129-pounder driving into a garage holding a Bob Barker microphone.
You have left the planned route. Would you like to update? Please say yes or no.
No. Maybe. I would not like to update my route because we are where we need to be.
Until you return to
The rate is $25. This is all for Marks in Transit. I'm Eddie Brophy.
I'm Jason Smith.
I'm Kathryn. I'm the poor person driving.
May we continue after the Survivor Series pay-per-view?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good day for now.
This is the firebrand, Brian Fury, and you're listening to Marks on Commentary.
We're no longer Marks in Transit. Or are we? We're still in transit. We're going back to Jason's house. We've just left Survivor Series 2013. Kathryn, thoughts?
It was okay. The experience was fun. The matches were so-so.
I thought you were going to say the experience was good. The magic was priceless. The pay-per-view itself is about a 6, Jason.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. I actually almost fell asleep during the CM Punk Daniel Bryan match.
Oh no.
Wasn't as good as I wished it would be.
The best part of the entire pay-per-view was what happened after it went off air. And that was the first time that I was entertained by it in general. Because it was funny and it was engaging as opposed to the matches, which were just kind of so-so. And, you know, my match I was looking forward to the most was the first match. And the person that I was looking forward to the most in the match got eliminated within 5 minutes. So I kind of really felt like I had nothing left to live for.
I concur.
Yeah, Jason doesn't have much to say on the matter. So all that stuff with Vince and stuff and Triple H, was that on the pay-per-view or was that just for us?
That was off. According to Allie, it ended after John Cena came out. To which she texted me and asked me if John Cena cashed in his briefcase.
She's not too wise, is she?
She was joking. Why else would he go out there?
Now, can we talk about some of the best chants of the night? Use your transsexual magic, Goldust.
That was amazing.
That was one of the best things that came out of our section.
I did enjoy the kids screaming, like, oh, what's that Kiss song? Is it Demon? What's the one? I forget. One of the more popular ones where it starts off with some kid at the beginning. And he was just like, somebody stop him!
We have one and we have Alberto Del Rio's theme song playing on Kathryn's phone, which means she's getting it. Mr. Del Rio would like to weigh in on Survivor Series.
Why is
That message is to let me know that the Broncos just scored, so the Patriots only have a 1-point lead. FYI, because I've been paying more attention to what's been happening in the Patriots game than I have anything else.
Now, biggest pop of the night, in your opinion?
Mark Henry.
Yeah, that's not too far off, yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure it was the moment I was the most excited for, but it was definitely one of the moments that got one of the biggest reactions, other than the idiot John Cena.
I'll be honest, I thought the Wyatt family theme song got one of the biggest pops of the night.
Yeah. That's very true, but it is a great theme, and they have an awesome entrance.
Now, what was your mark out moment? For myself, it was the rocking chair.
The what?
I mark out for Bray Wyatt's rocking chair.
I thought you called it the rocking chair, and I was like, I mean, Brock Lesnar isn't that old. I got really confused.
Myself, it was Dancing Cena guy up in the handicap section. He was clearly not handicapped. Let me make that straight. I wasn't laughing at a handicapped person. I was laughing at a person.
Now let's refocus the show now. I went to the bathroom, and when Jason said, "Yeah, I'll be out here," during the John Cena Del Rio match, that was our designated bathroom match. Jason decided to go to the bathroom. I decided to get obscenely overpriced pizza. To which I finished the pizza, went to the bathroom, went looking for Jason, could not find him.
Well, I went and sat in the handicap section and watched the show because there was standing room. So I ate my pizza, and the Cena guy was very much like, "Hey, this is awesome!" Like almost like to this extent that he wanted to like nudge me and be like, "Right?"
Now, make a note of that. Jason infiltrated the handicap section, made use of their accommodations, and then videotaped them. Kathryn, thoughts?
Oh God, I stayed in my seat like a good wrestling fan and watched the whole thing, no matter how excruciating it was. So, blah.
Kathryn, I applaud your commitment. I fell asleep a few times with my eyes open. I had to get up and leave during the Del Rio Cena match. And at one point, the best part of the pay-per-view apparently wasn't even on the pay-per-view. So,
if it makes you feel any better, like, everybody knows that I'm a giant, it just kind of happens. And I felt really bad because my legs are so long that I kept, like, accidentally kneeing the guy in front of me in the back of the head. So I, like, tried to put my feet out in the aisle, but then I was just, like, awkwardly half straddling his head. So I had to keep shifting. Does that make you feel any better?
Well, no, you know what makes me feel better? That we were in as much pain as probably Bret Hart and Mick Foley were, who, I gotta imagine, were told to stay out on that platform and wait for their cue to be back on the panel. Probably about 5 or 6 times I noticed that they were just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. Then they got their shot and it literally ended as soon as it began.
I mean, at least Mick Foley and Bret Hart seemed like they were interested in the matches. Unlike Josh Matthews, who I'm pretty sure was texting or something the entire time. Yeah, it was probably tout. Or like special secret app stuff. That's all he does.
So that leads me to my next question. Who do you think was more bored during that pay-per-view, us or Josh Matthews?
Josh Matthews.
Us, because he's at least paid to be there.
He's being paid to be bored. We had to pay to be bored.
What? I think just because he's getting paid doesn't mean that he wasn't as bored as us. I think he had justification for being bored.
All right, now, his version of being bored versus our version of being bored. Probably not surrounded by as many smelly people. People who are scared.
Actually, our section wasn't so bad, except for the guy behind us that spilled beer on everybody.
Twice. Douchebag. Sorry.
It's not so hard to walk down your aisle without spilling beer the whole way down on the people in front of you.
If he did it a third time, I was ready to get up and, like, cockshot him, like...
Jason would have started an altercation, which we all know I would have had to finish.
Now, whose weapon of mass destruction would deliver a more devastating blow, Kathryn's or Big Show's?
Oh, well, Big Show's, because I can't use my hands.
Full on. She's got it.
My hands are broken, so I can't do the KO. I could probably get in a good, decent, like, kick to the shin, though. That'll be my finishing move, the shin kick.
Sweet shin music?
Yes.
I think we can all agree. So, Jason, you gave it a 4. Explain.
Strong opening, weak middle, Punk, Bryan, okay. Wasn't really thrilled for the rest of the card.
I was gonna say, because you seem to started to get very indignant when the crowd started chanting, "This is awesome."
Yeah, like, they were like, "Oh my god, this is the best match ever." It was... we came up
Wasn't it after, like, a Hurricanrana that they were like, "This is awesome"? We were like, "This is adequate. This is okay."
We tried to get a "this is adequate" chant going, and not too many people responded.
Brian from the Shermaniacs would have been proud because he hates "this is awesome" chants.
Unless it is truly awesome.
Yeah, that was not awesome. No. I mean, it was a decent match. Was it the caliber that we were expecting? No.
Now, here's my next favorite chant. Big Show throwing Randy Orton over the barricade got an ECW chant.
Oh God.
Bit much. Not needed.
What could be more hardcore than throwing someone over the barricade?
Anything.
The chair shot that he went for initially?
That Big Show bitch slapped out of his hand.
That was pretty funny.
Now, if this was a comedy show, I would have given it at least 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, if we were basing it on the last match, I didn't find the last match to be dreadful. If that had been like mid-card, I would have been totally fine with it. As a main event, not so much. I don't really feel like any of the matches were really, main event status.
It was main event Raw status, maybe.
Main event SmackDown, maybe?
Yeah.
Main event Saturday Morning Slam.
Take her right at the lights.
Oh, you were giving her directions. I thought you were contributing to your
I'm
show.
hoping people don't come to my house and expect me to feed them and stuff like that.
We're taking her right onto Summer, so you can follow us.
I follow us on Summer Street.
Screw following us on Twitter. Follow the car. Come to Jason's house. Check out his DVD collection.
Hashtag follow the Fiesta.
It's hard to miss my car unless I'm in front of or behind a truck or any sedan, really.
Now, while this is supposed to be a wrestling podcast, and this is supposed to be a what do we call this? Like a special
bonus podcast?
A bonus? It has bonus features like us. Why we are literally taking the longest way to Jason's house humanly possible.
I'm following Jason's own direction.
That's the way I go. I hate traveling back roads and through Revere and crap.
I have been to Jason's house now once.
There was a pumpkin in the road.
There was a pumpkin in the road. So asking me to find my way to Jason's house when my GPS is being like, psh, directions, what are those? That is don't expect much from me.
He just wants to play 80s music.
If you are from the Massachusetts area, now we were just on 93. We are heading to. It rhymes with schmagus. And we decided to get off in Stoneham. Yes, that's right. Stoneham. I should know this. I'm kind of a resident again.
Watch out for the popo!
It's the fuzz.
It's the shield.
The popo.
Hold on, I'm gonna rubberneck here. What exactly the fuzz?
No, telephone pole down.
Oh, I thought it was a drug bust. That's lame. This is gonna be one of the worst shows ever. That was a. I don't want to say mediocre, but that was a pretty bad pay-per-view.
I'd agree.
I spy with my little eye something red.
And you go right.
Yeah, if you take good on you, Jason.
Telling me when I get to the intersection.
Sorry.
You're just as bad as my GPS. Turn left now! You missed it! Why'd you miss it?
You're listening to A Night in La Paz.
Kama Sutra, it's my brother's band. BC Dubs.
Kama Sutra. You know, if I thought we were giving a shameless plug to someone you're related to, then I must be
No,
forewarned.
they broke up a couple of years ago. It's his former band. But they're awesome. I still listen to them. Yeah, that's my plug for my brother. He's not just an elected official, he's also a musician.
Tonight's horribly soul-crushing baby was brought to you by Kmart, Mattel, Kama Sutra. Anyone else sponsor tonight's show?
Shattered Dreams.
People power.
People power! Laurinaitis is there!
That was the markout moment.
Yes,
I'm
that's
sorry
true.
that Johnny Laurinaitis was the markout moment of the night
I
for
would
me.
agree. That was the markout moment.
I
didn't even catch it at first. I heard the music, and I was like, huh? And then she was like, people power! I was like, ah!
The really sad thing is, I did check my Facebook periodically during the pay-per-view, and John Laurinaitis seemed to get the most talked about cameo of the entire pay-per-view.
Wow.
I can only hope that it leads to bigger and better things.
A lot has changed from 2011.
Doesn't seem for the better. We are on Franklin Street going.
Jason's going to edit out all the time so we can give out directions or his Jason lives at.
You know, I could give you Jason's address, and chances are you still won't find it, because God knows I didn't.
Yeah, Eddie does have a hard time getting there.
Eddie was lost. I was sitting awkwardly outside going, I don't know if this is house, and I don't actually have Jason's phone number to ask him. I'll call Eddie. He's like, I'm lost. Going to the place I've been many times before.
One of the famous last words to anybody, I'm going to call Eddie.
I know.
Just all around bad idea. Well, we did find out that SmackDown will be coming back to Boston in March.
March 25th, 3 days after my birthday. Oh.
Why does SmackDown keep coming back? We don't want SmackDown.
We get the shit shows. Give us a. When was the last Raw that was in Boston?
Whoa, 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 whoa! And we were almost just killed by a drunk driver.
Douchebag almost legit killed us from driving one side of the road to the
Don't
other.
worry, defensive driving classes.
All right. He was almost like aiming for us.
Yeah, he just totally came all the way into our lane.
Oh, you're such a Marks in obituaries.
Sorry you'll never hear this episode.
Or it'd be the worst, so it'll fun to be like, I wonder what they were saying during their last moments.
It becomes like the Lost album, where it's like put up on iTunes like years later.
Oh, God.
Ladies and gentlemen, you almost just witnessed a very special moment. Literally, this could have been the last thing anyone we know had ever heard.
Us bitching about a shitty pay-per-view.
Maybe it was Triple H gunning us down.
They've triangulated on our whereabouts. They're using GPS codes to take the Marks out.
Maybe it's why my GPS wasn't working. They packed into it.
Maybe he's got your GPS too.
Oh, God.
Straight turn.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and create a conspiracy theory. That's right, Triple H is trying to kill us.
I don't know. I marked out pretty hard when they were talking about New Hampshire, so I'm totally on his side. He shouldn't be killing me.
Are you pro Triple H now that you
Take a
know?
left.
Sorry.
Oh, my God!
I forgot you don't know where I live.
Someday!
Sorry, this road.
I'm gonna use the Bob Barker microphone. I'm even gonna hold it like Bob Barker.
The only thing worse than this podcast is their directions.
Watch this be the highest, listening podcast ever.
Can you please promote this as we almost literally died while giving this?
We almost died to bring you this shitty podcast episode.
Well, since we're on the subject, funeral songs. I have decided at my funeral I want everybody wearing chung tonight.
No, that's like my wedding song. That like my first dance with my dad is going to be that song. You can't have that song for your funeral.
Then
Mine first.
Then my second option is the theme song from Knight Rider.
Fair enough.
I got nothing.
Would it be really morbid to say that I would want the MASH theme?
Suicide is Painless is just such a great selection. I'm going to go ahead and change yours from the MASH theme song to the Growing Pains theme song. You know what would be awesome if Robin Thicke would cover the Growing Pains theme song?
That'd be ridiculous.
Now, is Jason typing up his obituary? Because I cannot emphasize enough. It's going to be like when they do the replays on any WWE television program and they just keep doing it over and over until it's ad nauseum. We were almost killed, ladies and gentlemen. I stared death in the face.
Instead of a description for the podcast, can we just have our obituary?
They died doing what they hated.
You can hear exactly how all of us would react in the face of danger. Just going, going, whoa, 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 whoa.
I will have to replay that part where it's just like.
How come I have the stoner reaction almost dying? Whoa. Hey, man.
And he's just like, let it happen.
Well, I've accepted it, Jason. I've just come to terms with it.
Finally.
God does not want me to live.
I don't think that driver wanted us to live.
Kind of did look like Rosa Mendes.
What?
I did get the Spanish vibe from the car.
Mark's on commentary now with more racism.
No, he definitely was Spanish.
Of the Latino variety, continue going straight.
To our death.
No, like, part of me feels like I should swerve into the other lane just to even out the cosmos.
Essentially, you just admitted that you want to play chicken with her.
Hey guys, sorry about this, but unfortunately, due to the limitations of our recording device, this is where the podcast kind of ends. No big deal. We were home in another 5 minutes from here. But I want to thank you on behalf of me, Kathryn, and Eddie for checking out this bonus podcast this week. We're looking to do more stuff much like this in the future. So make sure to go follow us at MO Commentary. Check out the website, marksoncommentary.com. Check out the blog. We'll be posting another episode later on this week. But this is one of the fun rarities that we try and change up around here. So thank you for listening. I'm Jason Smith. Have a good day.